Top of the morning, friends. Happy Friday. I hope everybody's having a fabulous start to your day today. Sorry, excuse me. I wanted to hop on and just give a little update as to what's been happening over the last couple weeks. I was talking to Jesse yesterday and trying to explain from my side kind of what this whole process has felt like outside of being sick. I told him yesterday, I said, it's like when you're put on hold. You're calling, in regards to a question on a bill or something that you have, and they put you on the phone with Bobby, and Bobby says, well, I'm not the department you need to speak with. Let me put you on the phone with Susie. Let me put you on hold. So Bobby puts you on hold for 20 minutes, and then Susie gets on the phone, and you repeat everything to her, all your questions, all your concerns. And then Susie says, well, I'm not the right person you need to speak with. Let me put you on the phone with Karen. And then she puts you on hold for 20 minutes. And you do that all day long. And I know we've all been in a situation similar to like that. And the frustration and the anger builds and the irritation that why can't I just have the right person in front of me, and how come nobody knows what's going on? That's what this entire process has been like for me. I've been angry, I've been scared, I've been sad, exhausted, and then it just circles right back around again. Finally, I feel it's been 6 weeks at this point. I'm finally starting to think that we might have a direction and we might have some answers coming our way, and soon. So for that, I'm really excited, and I wanted to share that with you. I took a shower last night and did not brush my hair, and I just slept on my hair wet. So if you ever want volume the next day, that is something you should do, just as like a little tip and trick while we're on the phone today. But so all of you guys know that I have been tested for autoimmune diseases, particularly lupus. I have done so many blood tests, it's unreal. My arms look like it, and they hurt. Well worth it though. I went to the rheumatologist the other day. She did all of her testing, asked all the questions, made lots of notes, and then sent me for a whole bunch more lab work. As I'm sitting in her office, now I was tested positive for the double-stranded, I don't exactly know what it's called, a blood test through my primary doctor that they did. I guess lupus is maybe more of a common autoimmune disease. I don't know that. I'm just saying that because that's what my normally, I guess your primaries don't necessarily do a lot of those types of testing. So the fact that they did, I'm assuming that's more of a common one. So I tested positive at my primary doctor. Then they sent me to rheumatologists so they could do further testing to, one, confirm, and then kind of just see, I guess, where you're at and whatnot. So the rheumatologist asked me all the questions. At the end of the appointment, she said, this is what I think. Without doing any blood tests, I cannot tell you anything. I have to do further extensive testing, but I definitely see you have the marker for lupus and you have some of the symptoms. So before I can say you you have lupus, then I'm definitely going to tell you though today you have fibromyalgia. Okay, great. So I have potential lupus and fibromyalgia. Okay. I said, so what does that mean for me? What's the treatment? How do I get better? I mean, I was to the point where I'm not walking. I'm using a wheelchair. The headaches, the dizziness, all the things I described to you, the weak, the muscle aches and joint pains and all of these things going on, and it's not getting better. Sorry. I'm so sorry. It's not getting better. you know, people that I'm talking to that have lupus saying, you know, you're in a flare-up. I'm like, well, how long does a flare-up last? Because this has been, you know, ridiculous. I mean, this has just been ongoing. And not only ongoing, but, you know, I'm doing everything that I can in my power to change my diet completely. I do not eat any carbs. I do not have sugar other than natural sugars, no processed sugars. Pretty much my diet consists of some fruits, vegetables, and a select handful of meats. That's it. I mean, the good thing is I've lost 13 pounds, so hey, you know. I was telling my sister the other day, I said, we were in the doctor's office and I'm crying because I couldn't walk myself in. She had to take me in there. I'm just like in the worst of everything going on. And I told her, I said, you know, it's funny that I kept praying to God and saying, sorry, my dog's down here huffing because I'm not picking her up. Praying to God that he would help me lose weight, you know, or not help me lose weight. You know, it's not like bibbidi bobbidi boo, you're skinny. I just wanted, you know, like direction and something that was going to work for me. And I kept asking for help and guidance. And so I was telling my sister about that because you don't have to step at the scale every time you go to the doctor. So she's like, oh, answered prayers. And I said, oh, this is not what I was thinking. This is not what I meant. So anyways, I'm at the doctor. She tells me all of this stuff. And I left feeling even more confused than I did going in. So you may or may not have lupus, or, oh, she tells me if you're not in full blown like lupus, like if you're not, like you have all the markers for it, but you're not like this, what's happening to you isn't the flare up, you are now borderline, so your body shows all the markers, so you just have to like pretty much keep it away. What does that mean? So I may or may not have it. If I don't fully have it yet, I could get it. So it's like walking on eggshells in life because I heard don't go outside in the sun. So do I just stay in my house? And what happens when I go outside in the sun? I was told you could get really, really sick. So I don't want to get really, really sick. Like, and then all the different types of things that I've seen several doctors. One of them said that I have some markers for Lyme, but not all of them. So they can't say that I have Lyme, but they're not taking it off the table. I had some markers for like a herpes virus, not like herpes virus, like mono, those types of things, or like a herpes virus. I had mono when I was 15, 16 years old. So they also said, you have some markers for that, but they're all not matching up, so we're not exactly sure. So I can't take that off the table. So at this point today, I've been told I have lupus, fibromyalgia, possible herpes virus as in mono or some sort of viral like that. And what else? What other things? I don't know. Oh, Lyme, possibly, but not 100%. But definitely autoimmune. As I'm doing my own research, autoimmune is a very wide range. Pretty much, sorry, I have to get this dog. It's killing me. Pretty much anything that's wrong with you is autoimmune related. So nobody really knows exactly what that means. So, anyways, hold on one second. Let me get this crazy dog. Okay, so in the meantime, one of the doctors I went to did extensive testing, like just checked everything you could check. One of the things I never thought to check, and she did, was a mold test. It's a urine test, and they did a nose swab culture. Weeks went by. I never once thought mold. And all of a sudden, I get my swab culture back first, and it's positive for a staph infection or an infection in your nasal cavity. When researching that, it all comes back to biotoxin illness, or, you know, mold, typically a mold that you're breathing in. And, you know, when you have more of a depleted immune system, you're going to get sick. So I hadn't had my mold test back yet, the urine test that I had taken. So we weren't 100%, but we were pretty sure. And I got my mold test results yesterday. I tested extremely high, well out of the normal range for more than one type of mold. Good and bad news. Good news is that's some pretty definite, significant answers, and could also explain a lot of my symptoms. Bad news is I need to make sure my house isn't making me sick or keeping me sick. So I had Mold Pro come out to my home yesterday. He did a full exam. He went everywhere, outside, inside, in the attic, everywhere. He did not seem to think that there was any issues here in my home. I said, that's not good enough. After everything I've been through and how miserable this has been for me, I want you to physically test with your little tester, send it to the lab, test everything. So he tested from the basement, main floor, upstairs, attic, even the outside air. That I had some questions about. But it's kind of like a tracker for the inside air. You know, if your main level has a little higher levels of things going on, you know, that's of course where people open and close the door and come in and out. So it would be due to the outside air. So they can really evaluate that to make sure that it's not in your home, it's just coming from outside. So I've also developed this cough, which, you know, wasn't really making sense either. So anyway, everything that's going on now currently, I have an entire handful of pills that I am taking 3 times a day to help me. I am doing a nasal spray to get rid of my infection in my nasal cavities. I am still waiting on more testing for the rheumatologist, and in the meantime, trying to make sure that the areas that I'm in are safe, and that I am, you know, taking every precaution that I can to get better. This is a very slow and a lonely process, for sure. I'm sure some of you can understand that. You know, when I try to explain to Jesse some days, or my parents, or other people around me who are helping me, the people around me want answers. They want to know, well, when can you come back to work? Well, what do you think you're going to be able to make it to this event next week? Do you think you're going to be able to do this? And it's like, if you're asking me, and I'm asking all of the doctors and my sources around me for the same answers. When and how am I getting better? How fast? What's the plan? What's happening? And just as I have told you, I have 15 different diagnoses, 100 different things going on, and they're all maybes and possibilities, and we're not 100% sure. That's my answer to everybody else. I don't know. It's just as frustrating to me, even more, because I have to feel like this and, you know, try to do the best that I can of all of my obligations. But some days I have to say, my only obligation today is me. And I'm sorry if that's not good enough. You know, so it's tough. It's tough for everybody, me especially, but everybody around me. So it's been a learning curve for sure, this whole process. I'm grateful that I am feeling better. I'm grateful that I am, you know, up. And, you know, like I said, I was in a wheelchair and not walking, things like that. To be able to go downstairs and put in a load of laundry, or stand at the counter and do some dishes. Trust me, from where I came from, that absolutely is a huge bonus. So I'm grateful for those little milestones. I am not so grateful for the diet that I have to be on. And also, even more confusing, which I'm sure of you, a lot of you who have been through this process or have an autoimmune disease or have been told all these different things, you look it up. You look up things you should or shouldn't eat. And for me, because I've been told so many different things at this point, they're all different. So every diet is different. And now the mold, which is, my biggest concern at this point, I never thought that. And please, I'm telling you this because not only just to update you on what's going on, but if you were told you have, fibromyalgia or all these different autoimmune things or whatever, check yourself. The urine test, this is the other part of it, is the mold test you have to pay for out of pocket. I don't know a primary, I don't know that insurance pays for that. So, and I was told, do you want to test your environment first or yourself? And I said, well, me, I don't want to pay to test my home if I'm not even infected with it. I tested me first, which was a couple $100 to do that. And I'm beyond grateful that I did it, and the nose culture as well. Because, typically they go hand in hand as I'm researching, not all the time, but the majority of the time. So it's absolutely worth it, 100%. Don't take someone's word for it. Just because the blood tests say one thing, it's very possible. I'm not giving up at all that because of what this toxin illness can do to you due to the levels of mold or toxins like that, could absolutely give me different inflammatory markers. My entire body is completely out of whack. It's attacking itself in all different areas, all different ways. And I was also told that the type of mold too, it goes from your brain to your liver, to your bowels, and then it's reabsorbed. And then it goes right back up and it circles all over again, and it doesn't stop. And there's only certain things you can do to get that out of your body, like a binder to like a magnet that it's sticks to, and then you can pass it. What I've been told, again, I have been on Google, I've been listening to YouTube videos, this is all just information I'm gathering, and my own personal thoughts. So I'm not a doctor. I don't know what I'm talking about. This is just me, kind of having to self-diagnose the majority of the time, because the people that you're working with are either quick to just pretty much say, I don't know, so tell you have fibromyalgia because you have weak muscles and things like that. And for those of you who do and are really diagnosed with that, I mean, I'm not saying anything, but and I'm not saying I don't have that either. But since this mold thing has come about, I'm really keeping my fingers crossed that we have found the answer of what has spiked all of this crazy illness over this last couple months that came on so sudden. Previous to this, I had some symptoms and signs of not feeling great, but I was functioning. I went to work every day, and I would get headaches and things, but I would say, I sit at a computer, or I have a poor diet. So all those things play into that. But obviously I've been exposed somewhere, somehow, to something very toxic, and it completely took everything away from me, literally, and it's miserable. So I'm on the path to getting better. I wanted to share this with you. I wanted to put that out there, so if there's a thought, I know a lot of people write in or comment that they have similar symptoms. They're still going through the research process of trying to figure out what is wrong. Take a mold test. Test yourself. Find out where you can go to, get the swab, do the urine test, cross it off the list. At this point, I took every test that there was possible to test, to cross it off the list, and I'm really glad I did. So I just wanted to tell you all that. I wanted to update you. I am drinking my smoothie this morning because there's literally now I've been eating bacon every day for breakfast, and I was looking up foods like a mold-free diet, and one of the things it says not to eat is bacon. Awesome. So at this point, I'm drinking this smoothie. It's got strawberries in it. It didn't say whether or not the mold thing was okay with bananas or not, so I don't know. I had been putting bananas, but I didn't know. I put in half an avocado. I do not like avocados. Let me just tell you that right now. I don't like them. So this is kind of like, I'm drinking this like how kids eat mac and cheese. They don't taste it. They just put it in their mouth and swallow it. That's what I'm doing with this. I'm just putting it in my mouth and swallowing it. Just to get the nutrients from the avocado, but I'm not happy about it. But at this point, I am doing and willing to do everything and anything that I need to in order to get better and to keep this all away, because I want my life back. And I just want to get up and do normal things. I want to go to work. I want to do the dishes. I want to take care of my children. All the things I took for granted, I want them back. So I want them back, and I'm doing everything I can to make sure that happens as soon as it can. So thank you again for all of your support. Thank you again for everybody who, is taking the time to comment and post about different tests and different things to check. I am going not to just one doctor, but 3 to make sure that no rock is unturned. So thanks again for all of your support and help. And test yourself. Test for the mold. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.